my topic is actually an easy one, like everybody has been telling you. Celiac disease diagnosed हो गया तो gluten free diet start कर दो. So the child will be fine and will start gaining weight, will start gaining height. But trust me, it is easier said than done. So when I started practicing on my own, first case who came to me with a TTG IgA of more than 400, and the child was classically cachexic, not gaining height, listless, protruded abdomen. I counseled the mother कि ये बीमारी लग रही है, बच्चा गेहूँ नहीं खा सकता है. मम्मी 2 महीने के लिए गायब हो गई. And I'm not even kidding. It is so difficult to counsel patients to go on a gluten-free diet, especially in North India. आप रोटी नहीं खा सकते, ये mothers, families believe ही नहीं कर सकती. And even if you can get through to the mother, घर पे नानी दादी, अरे गेहूँ कैसे नहीं खा सकते, ताकत कहाँ से आएगी, कैसे रोटी के बिना रह सकता है बच्चा. So diagnosis is one part, it is difficult, but still doctors can manage it. Treatment is a whole different area, and because it is lifelong, you need to give them constant support and that constant motivation to not just start gluten-free diet but also stick to it. Because the moment they start feeling better, they will automatically be like, अरे थोड़ा सा पिज़्ज़ा खा लेते हैं, अरे एक ब्रेड खा लेते हैं, क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है. But even a ton of gluten, like ma'am said, even a small quantity of gluten can be poisonous and can be deadly. So diagnosing it correctly, starting a gluten-free diet and sticking to it and motivating our patients to stick to it is very important. The social aspects of the disease are very important क्योंकि school setting में, hostel setting में अगर कोई बोले अरे मैं गेहूँ नहीं खाता, अरे you are being very high maintenance, क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है, थोड़ा सा खा लो. These kids find it very hard to find acceptability in parties, in schools, in cafeterias, in functions. So the more we know about it, the more we can normalize it, and that is our purpose. So now telling you some of the basics of gluten-free diet. It is unfortunately till now the only treatment. There is no medicine, there is no surgery. Even in Ayurvedic, Unani, homeopathy, these might be the areas where we will come up with a treatment, but not yet. So कोई भी अगर आपको बोले अरे ये दवाई ले लो and you can start eating wheat, don't do that please. And GFD once started should be continued for life, and that is why diagnosis is very important. If we hurry into a diagnosis, because a lot of parents don't want to get an endoscopy done, they are very scared, अरे हमारा बच्चा इतना छोटा है, इतने छोटे बच्चे में कैसे endoscopy होगी. But if you started without a proper diagnosis, then lifelong you are subjecting that child to a therapy which might not actually be necessary for the child. So correct and confirmation of diagnosis is mandatory. Now what is gluten that we have been talking about? It's the structural protein which is found in certain grains such as wheat, rye and barley. And this rye is different. It's not that mustard seeds जो हमें kitchen में होती हैं हमारे. This rye is a kind of grain which is mostly found in the Western world. It's not commonly seen in India. But barley and wheat are definitely seen, and they are the structural proteins, so gliadin and glutenin, which together form gluten. Now gluten, we know that the wheat has this structure, it has the endosperm, it has the outer bran. So this is forming the central part, the main part. So 80% of the protein, total protein content of wheat is gluten. So 100 grams of wheat is going to have around 8 to 10 grams of gluten. Why is gluten so commonly used? Because this is what gives wheat its elasticity, its stickiness. We say that the bread rises, हमारी रोटी फूलती है. That all happens because of gluten. So even in other things, it is used as a binding agent, and that is why it is so commonly used in our kitchens, in all bakery products, in all restaurants, because of this ability of elasticity. Now, like we said, that when you go on a gluten-free diet, what you have to do is avoid these certain grains. But yes, it feels like it's a major chunk of your diet. But there are a lot of other grains that you can have, such as quinoa, millets, rice, maize, which can form the basis of your meal and let you be gluten-free. Also, like ma'am said, India is very, very conducive to being gluten-free. South India में तो primarily rice-based diet हम खाते हैं and such tasty food. So millets is now coming up so much. Our government is promoting millets. So actually we have a lot of other options other than wheat. So if we look for it, it is very, very possible to have gluten-free diet and easy, but we need to accept the diagnosis. All fruits and vegetables are naturally gluten free, but sometimes if they are in the canned form, they might have gluten, so you need to check the labels. All dairy products, butters, ghee, milk, all of these, cheese, are naturally gluten free, but again, seasoned milk, flavored milk, all of these things might have adulteration. Meats, eggs, fish are naturally gluten free, but processed and cured products might have gluten in them because it's used in the processing stages. So it is absolutely necessary for patients with celiac disease. It eases the digestive symptoms. So we saw a lot of case scenarios in which there was iron refractory anemia, in which height was not getting gained, the weight was the child was underweight. The moment you switch to a gluten-free diet, what happens is that your intestinal healing starts happening. We saw the histopathology pictures, we saw the endoscopy pictures, all those villi which have been blunted, that have been because gluten has been damaging them. So the moment we stop taking gluten, the intestinal healing happens and all the nutrients which are earlier not being absorbed, they start getting absorbed. So your iron will start increasing, your vitamin D levels will start getting better, you will start gaining weight, and you see miraculous recovery, and your sad gut becomes a happy gut. So what does gluten-free mean? It means less than 20 milligram per kg of food, which is less than 20 ppm. So this is the criteria that gluten-free products should maintain, and they have to go through a thorough testing that for a product to be actually gluten-free, it needs to have less than 20 ppm of gluten in it. And there are labs which are doing these testings. Nowadays, we are seeing a lot of gluten-free products in the market because a lot of people are using it as a fad diet for weight loss. They say, aap roti khana chhod do, you will start losing weight. But celiac disease is different. In this, even minor adulteration can cause symptoms. So you have to be very careful that the gluten-free that you're purchasing in the market is actually tested and is gluten-free. But if you are not giving gluten and we're not giving wheat, we still need to ensure that this is an underweight child, this is a child with nutritional deficiencies, and they need to take a balanced diet. So as per that, we should have a healthy dose of cereals and grains other than wheat and barley, pulses and legumes, meat and meat products, milk, dairy, fruits and vegetables, and essential fats and sugars. So maintaining a healthy weight is essential. Patients with celiac disease can be both underweight and also obese and overweight. And the moment you're going to stop the gluten, they might suddenly gain weight, right? So you need to be very careful that they don't gain excess weight. So a healthy weight is essential. Frequent meals and snacks, increasing of energy-dense foods and beverages, and gluten-free dietary supplements and nutritional drinks. A lot of our multivitamin tablets and supplements like the powders that we give, nutritional supplements to add in the milk, a lot of them have gluten. So when you're prescribing these for weight gain and for covering the nutritional deficiencies, you have to be very careful as to the fact that they are gluten free. General principles of weight control that reduce calorie intake. Cross contamination. So like I said, you can go gluten free just like that, but for a celiac, even a little bit of gluten can be harmful. So you have to be very, very careful about cross contamination. सेम किचन जिसमें बाकी सब लोगों की रोटी बन रही है, आप सेम किचन में उस बच्चे की रोटी अगर बनाएंगे तो दैट वीट कैन एंटर द चाइल्ड्स फूड and can cause symptoms in the child, right? So you have to be very, very careful about cross contamination, even where you are buying your other grains from. If you are buying rice from the same mill where wheat is being processed, then there can be adulteration in the mill. If you are buying it from the same shop where other things are being sold, जहाँ पे खुले grains and खुले spices मिलते हैं, वहाँ पे adulteration is possible. So I will come to label reading. A lot of times they mention that does not contain wheat but is processed in the same facility where wheat is processed. So that can increase your chances of getting allergy. So like I said, gluten free is not as easy, and parents whose kids are diagnosed with celiac really have a challenge to maintain gluten free diet without contamination. So during transportation and storage, like I mentioned, during milling, same production line and equipment, same utensils at home, while dining out, there will be contamination. Even same spatula at grocery stores, spices and condiments if they are being milled at the same mill. And hing is a very, very commonly adulterated spice where gluten can be present. And pulse flour such as besan, sauces, even soy sauce and your ketchups can have gluten because it provides that elasticity, it has that binding ability. एंड व्हेन यू यूजिंग द सेम घी, हमने घी की डिब्बी ली, सेम चम्मच से वीट वाली रोटी पे घी लगाया और ग्लूटेन फ्री रोटी पे वीट लगाया, दैट्स नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल. Even toasters for toasting our breads. So what we say is that obviously everybody does not have that kind of luxury that we have a separate kitchen for our gluten-free food. So when you're setting up gluten-free diet for an actual celiac patient, when you have to be very, very careful, we say that try and designate some area in the kitchen where you are not using other gluten-containing products. So try and store gluten-free foods in higher up cupboards, in separate cupboards. When you are grinding the gluten-free flour, try to do it at home rather than a mill. Like ma'am said, सबको मैं बोलती हूँ अपनी चक्की खरीदो. It's not that big of an investment and really it goes a long way in reducing cross contamination. So अगर आपके पास अपनी अलग मिल है, अलग चक्की है जिसमें आप अपना आटा पीस रहे हो, एक अलग तवा है, एक अलग चकला बेलन है, तो आपके कंटेमिनेशन के चांसेस काफ़ी कम हो जाते हैं. Thorough cleaning of all the counters, separate containers for butter, ghee, jam, cheese, and label everything clearly. Separate spoons for putting ghee and oil on chapatis, separate squeeze bottles for your sauces and gluten-free mayonnaise. Wooden cutlery, because it has that grainy texture, a lot of times gluten can get stuck to that. So shift to glass or steel or even plastic is better than wooden cutlery in these cases. Separate rolling pin, separate tawa, like I mentioned. Clean the counters completely. First prepare gluten-free food, then prepare the rest of the food. Keep a separate sponge for washing the dishes. Keep the counters clean and make gluten-free zones in your kitchen. Then gluten-free while traveling. A lot of our patients have this problem that, at home I'm maintaining all of these things, but what when I'm traveling outside in restaurants, hotels? So the child's social life gets massively affected if the child is diagnosed with celiac. So what you can do is bring along some gluten-free snacks, keeping in mind obviously the restrictions. Prior request for gluten-free meals, you can call up the restaurant, ask if they have this facility or not. While staying in the hotel, request the kitchen staff to cook fresh meals and consume naturally gluten-free products like fruits and vegetables and yogurts, which are gluten-free naturally. Again, school cafeteria. Now there are a lot of schools in India where the meal program is there. They are providing food to the kids in the school. So there you have to have a very clear communication between the parents, teachers and principal. Should always carry homemade gluten-free food, should not eat from friends' tiffin, and this causes a lot of अरे ये तो बहुत ही high maintenance है, ये तो हमारे टिफिन से खाना भी नहीं खाता, right? So those challenges. Should eat in the presence of a guide or teacher, and in future once awareness increases, we can have gluten-free cafeterias and kitchens. In hostels especially, now a lot of us are living in hostels, a lot of the sisters are living in hostels. So having clear communication with the warden or the supervisor, guiding the kitchen staff about ways to avoid cross-contamination, consuming naturally gluten-free foods, and to do your own basic cooking, at least rice boil karna and simple things like that if you can manage. So like I said, gluten-free toaster, home flour mill, separate utensils, separate ghee and butter jars. Now the other thing is, now there are a lot of products in the market which claim to be gluten-free, but you need to properly read the label. So when we look at the label, first see if it says gluten-free. If it is, so like I said that it is less than 20 ppm. India standards are not very, very strict, but at least in foreign countries the standards are very strict. If that is not mentioned, then look at the ingredients list. If gluten is mentioned in that, wheat is mentioned in that, then that product is a no-no. Last, like it's written, processed in a facility with equipment that uses milk, egg, shellfish, soy and wheat. So if the same equipment is being used, then you cannot consume these products. So just buying gluten-free off the counter is not the solution. The challenges are way too many and the awareness is way too less. So food labeling, gluten-free is produced in a dedicated food facility, contains no gluten in the ingredients and it is lab tested. Contains gluten processed in a general food facility where other things are also being processed, and gluten is declared as an allergen. And may contain gluten are the products that we are not very sure of. Usually processed in a general food facility, there is no gluten in the ingredients, but there might be cross-contamination. So these are some of the labels. We with Celiac Support Organization are also trying to come up with a standardized logo for gluten-free. The way we have for vegan, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, we are trying to get, so there are a variety of labels in the market which confuse the consumers. So we are trying that we have a dedicated logo which is specifically for gluten-free products. So in this case, whole grain wheat is listed in the ingredients. And aspects of gluten-free diet that are to be covered while counseling the parents. Like I said, that the acceptance is a big part and it is very difficult. So we need to do balanced meal planning. We can tell them different grains that they can use for making gluten-free flours. Cooking recipes and tips. The book that was circulated has some easy to make gluten-free recipes which mothers can try at home. To counsel them about cross-contamination, grinding of flours at home, label reading and how to shop for gluten-free foods, how to eat out, how to eat while traveling. All these questions, they are with the parents. So when we have sessions with parents, they have so many questions to ask us, and we as doctors and as paramedical staff, as dietitians, really need to have the answers to these. So these are some of the options for gluten-free foods. Obviously, I will not go in the detail, but there are a lot of simple gluten-free things that you can make at home. Yes, you can even make desserts at home which are completely gluten-free. Snacks can be made at home. Small tiffin items for the child to take to school can be made at home. Now, millets. In India, there is now a government initiative to promote the use of millets, and millets are a boon for celiac disease patients because a lot of these are gluten-free, are very healthy, high in protein content, easily available, made in India, not very expensive. So we really should promote the use of gluten. So common Indian millets that are found is ragi, then there is bajra, there is this udalu, and they all have local names as per your state. There is samalu, there is koralu and arikelu, and different names for different regions. So all of these millets which are easily available in India, we should really try and start using these because they'll be a boon to our celiac disease kids. This is just a sample diet plan. If anybody is interested, they can take a picture. So there are good breakfast options, there are lunch options. You can make rotis, panathas, puris and bhaturas also out of gluten-free flours. And a good portion of vegetables and high protein diet is what is important. You can have evening snacks, dinner and even desserts in gluten-free. So with that, I end my session.